If throughout your life you've looked at other relationships that were loving and healthy and happy, and you've always wanted that deep down, but all you've ever experienced was toxic behaviors, or maybe all you've attracted were abusive partners. Maybe it was good in the beginning and then all of a sudden it went to shit. Or maybe you began running as soon as things got too close to you. And as soon as things got too close to you on an intimate and emotional level, all you could see within that relationship were the things that were bad. And now what you're doing is building a story of the reasons why you should leave that relationship, even though you know that that relationship had the potential to become that loving relationship that you've always wanted.
Today we'll discuss cognitive distortions. Disclaimer: if any of these symptoms resonate with you, do seek professional support. With that being said, the best way to improve anything is to have awareness of it. Cognitive distortions are the mental biases that make us feel anxious, miserable, or bad about ourselves and others. This can be caused by personal values or beliefs, childhood upbringing, and life experience. Let's be clear. We all have biases and it's normal. Like, it's crazy to me how some people put sugar in their grits and spaghetti. Hell no. Hey, yo, y'all are some straight savages out here, respectfully. However, biases do become harmful to us or others when they turn into extreme judgmental stereotypes, all or nothing. And this is when we think in extremes without considering the distinctions in between. And with this type of thinking, we perceive things as black and white, my way or the highway, good or bad. So examples of what that might look like is one woman hurt me, so all women are bad. This person is extremely attractive.
Yes, Daddy.
So we label them as good or a bad person, which some people refer to as the halo effect. And when we label someone good, they're pasteurized and they can do no wrong. If we label them as bad, then they're considered to be thotty, 304 for the streets.
What?
This type of thinking can be harmful because we look at one of the two extremes. Either something is all good, or something is all bad, or something is all positive, or something is all negative. When we place people, places, or things into an all category, we extremely limit our ability to be interactive or be open-minded to other possibilities outside of our current thought process.
Damn, son.
Catastrophizing. And this is when we overestimate the chance and severity of the negative outcomes. And I think with this way of thinking comes solely down to rejection, which is feeling unworthy or not good enough. One way for catastrophizing is, and I'm pretty sure we've all experienced this, is she didn't text me back right away.
Cancel it.
So she must be smashing someone else or she's messing with some other dudes.
What?
She rejected me, so no woman will like me.
What?
The way we think is we take one negative situation and we blow it up 10 times, 20 times, 100 times more than what it possibly is.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying these things aren't negative interactions. However, we magnify those situations to a very exponential point where it becomes catastrophizing. One way I think how we can manage this is creating and enforcing your boundaries, should and must. And this is when we expect too much from ourselves and others. A couple of examples of what that may look like is I'm working or have worked to become my best self, so life should get better. I hope you guys are working every day to become the best version of yourself. However, there is no guarantee that the more work and grind that you put in, that life will get better for you. For some, yes, it may get better for you. For some people, it may become exponentially harder. You know, the more that you level up, the more challenges and difficulties you are going to face. However, when you use the term should, that puts a definitive stamp on it that makes it seem like if I do X, then Y is going to happen, which in turn puts a lot of expectations on yourself that you may or may not be able to achieve.
What did you say, nigga?
Let's look at it from a dating perspective. If I don't hit the first night or an X number of dates, she must not like me.
I know that's right.
Or if she lets me hit quickly, she must like me or she's a thought.
How dare you?
I've been in both scenarios, and you can't possibly predict the outcome. Should and must are very definitive words. Let me tell you why these words are dangerous. It puts expectations on yourself and others, which may be unrealistic. Overgeneralization. And this is when we interpret one negative situation that everything is negative.
You're about to experience a nigga moment.
I know this may sound a lot like catastrophizing, but there is definitely a subtle difference. Let's say you wake up one day and maybe you're running late for school or for work, your alarm clock didn't go off, and you have this one thought, yo, I just know today is going to be a crappy day. And in that moment, we train our brain to perceive or lock on to everything that is negative.
Gotcha, bitch.
Think of it like a homing missile. Like you just literally trained your brain to target everything that's negative that's happening in that day, to validate your thought, just to validate that. So every single thing that happens, if someone steps on your shoe, maybe by accident, but nope, I'm having a crappy day, so of course someone's going to step on my shoe. Or, maybe you left your phone at home by accident, and maybe this is like 1 in a million times you've done that. Oh no, because today's a crappy day. Of course I'm going to leave my phone at home.
How, Sway?
So basically we're overgeneralizing everything, and we're training our brain or ourselves to just lock on to everything or highlight everything that is negative in that day to validate. Mental filter. So this is when we see only negative details while ignoring the positive. This can become dangerous because it keeps us in a pessimistic mood, which can cause anxiety and depression. An example for this is, I know it's holiday time and maybe you can't buy the gifts you want for loved ones and fear disappointing them. However, on a positive side, you still have those loved ones around to share the holidays with. A person with this mental filtering type of mindset won't see the positive side of being able to, spend time with loved ones and make new memories. They'll just be focused on the fact that they're not able right now to afford the gifts that they want to give to their loved ones, and that disappointment they're expecting to receive from them during that day. And what I would suggest is that, and this may not be the answer that you're looking for, and this could be for any situation, not just during the holidays, just in life in general, is, seeking gratitude.
Stop the cap.
Being grateful helps us acknowledge the positive points in our life. I know a lot of times when we're going through things, it's very difficult to notice those positive things that are going on around us. And believe me, they're there. We just haven't acknowledged it because we're so occupied with the negative aspects or the negative things that's impacting us.
Fight back, nigga. Fight back.
However, we take some time to really think about the things that are positively going in our life. You can get that sense of gratitude and that sense of thankfulness that can help you see those positive aspects that's going on. However, for some people, that can still be tough. This is where we reject or devalue the importance of positive events. So to play devil's advocate, some of you may disagree with my last example. Gratitude and gratefulness won't make my little boy, girl, mom, shorty, or whoever happy on Christmas or during the holidays. I will agree, it probably won't make them happy. However, this is to help us accept the controllable or uncontrollable situations we face while highlighting the positive efforts we or those around us are putting out.
Sensational.
Your insecurities can tend to negatively distort how you interpret the way people communicate with you. This is a type of cognitive distortion, and I'll give you a couple examples. Let's say that you're self-conscious about your body and weight. Well, you might take offense when your friend calls you and says, "I'm free this afternoon. Do you want to go for a run?" Another example. Let's say that you feel like you're not intelligent. You might take offense when your friend says to you, "Don't be dumb. Let's just go out tonight and have fun." In each of these instances, nothing is being said that's overtly offensive, but because of that insecurity, you're interpreting it as a personal attack when it's not. Now, you can go about trying to change the way others communicate with you, but ultimately this is not that effective, and it makes people feel like they have to walk on eggshells around you.
Magnification, minimization. And this is when we tend to overvalue the importance of negative features or events while undervaluing the importance of positive ones. Let's say you cold approach a shorty.
Huh?
For those who don't know what that is, that's pretty much hollering at a chick who hasn't shown you any interest or choosing signals.
GG's.
Anyway, you approach shorty and the vibes is cool and you get her social media contact info versus her direct contact. The distorted thought. I don't know if she was feeling me. I did get her social media contact, but that's it.
Bruh.
This thought pattern magnifies the negative fact of not getting her direct number and minimizes the fact of receiving a social media contact. We all know anything before but negates the whole statement. Some people preach this is a dub or an L type of situation, implying she's attention seeking with boosting her following. What matters is what you think and your experience in a situation. Jump into conclusions. And this is when we assume we know what others are thinking without supporting evidence, which creates unnecessary stress. It's super important we question these assumptions and communicate openly and directly to avoid misunderstandings. Guys, just make sure that when you are having these interactions that you don't necessarily jump to conclusions and you be direct and you be straightforward. Mind reading. And this is usually a distortion closely related to jumping to conclusions. However, with a caveat, we convince ourselves we know how others perceive us, and it's usually negatively without evidence. This can lead to self-doubt and damage relationships. Remember, we can't read minds. And again, it's important to communicate our feelings and thoughts. A scenario I could think that closely represents this type of distortion is this is usually where the term alpha, beta, sigma terms come into play. If I'm strong and an asshole, I'm the alpha type. If I'm strong and silent, I'm the sigma type. If I'm a pushover and weak, then I'm the beta type.
Beta!
There is no way to know how people perceive you. Some people won't see you as how you see yourself.
Huh?
Whether you consider yourself to be alpha, sigma, or beta, which is perfectly fine. However, you can establish personal boundaries, fortune telling. This distortion can resemble mind reading. However, the caveat is predicting something will happen in a certain, usually negative way based on little or no evidence. Have you ever seen those videos where they try to catch those gold digger chicks? Usually they target the random Pukiana or hood rich chick archetype. Cute, thick chick, Edward Scissorhands, fingernails.
I know that's right.
Bat wing eyelashes, heavy makeup, possibly tatted up with tight and or revealing wears on. Maybe she's rocking a purse, bag, or gear that looks to be way out of her price bracket for the hood area she's in.
How dare you?
The fortune-telling distortion is to expose the chick as a gold digger without any evidence.
Stop the cap.
Why is this harmful? Well, this archetype of women seems to be the majority of women.
What?
Are most of them like this? Maybe.
Bruh.
However, it does put the seed in your mind on first glance that, damn, shorty trying to stick before my paper. Fellas, keep your investments low.
Sensational.
Emotional reasoning. And this is when we interpret feelings as facts. This normally happens with women.
Oh, hell no.
Ladies, you know this is true. If you notice, most women and some men normally start a sentence with, I feel like. When I hear the statements begin with, I feel, I immediately take it with a grain of salt because feelings are subjective, unpredictable, and uncertain. So a scenario for this distortion that I think fits best is I have a feeling that a shorty is cheating. And I know we've all been there. I've been there myself. The twist in the gut, heart pounding, anxiety inducing feeling. So what do? We pop up at shorty's house or job unannounced, stalk her on social media or in real life, run through her phone, maybe even angrily confront her about it. But it doesn't matter because your mind is set. The feeling is just too strong to be denied. That's why it's important as men we adopt the facts over feelings mindset. Does that mean we ignore our feelings? Hell no. However, we can make appropriate responses versus reactions that are induced by those feelings. Personalization. And this is where we assume responsibility for a negative event that is beyond our control. I know I'm going to get some pushback for this, and I don't even give a damn. Let's just go with the previous example that shorty turns out to be cheating. With this distortion, you take responsibility for her cheating. This is where you may hear the if yous. If you paid me more attention, if you took me out more, if you listened to me, blah, 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 blah. And what pisses me off even further is content creators who co-sign this with their if yous. If you had a masculine frame, if you were more in shape, if you had more money, if you had more fashion, if you had more charisma, blah, 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 blah. Are these things important? Yes. Can these qualities increase your relationship interactions? Yes. However, you are not responsible for the decision someone else made to seek outside intimacy.
Hell no.
I'll say this shit again for the stubborn people in the back. You are not responsible for the decision someone else made to seek any type of outside intimacy. Yo, this is damaging in so many ways because we can develop low self-esteem that co-signs our negative self-talk, which lowers our self-value. Are there things you could have done which contributed to her losing interest? From her perspective, yes. However, a healthy woman will express her needs and wants effectively and not seek them elsewhere. And to keep it 100 with you guys, this is the typical narcissistic victim blaming tactics that keeps men in toxic relationship loops.
Hey.
Labeling. And this is when we are attaching a negative label to ourselves or others based on one experience instead of describing a mistake in behavior. Let's go with the scenario of the previous example. With this distortion, you now label her as a 304.
She belongs to the street.
And yourself as being beta.
Beta.
From the experience. Regardless of how many intimate partners she was with, being unable to communicate her unhappiness or leave an unfulfilling relationship respectfully was her mistake in behavior. Alternatively, labeling yourself as a beta isn't a behavior. Not setting personal boundaries and walking away when needed was a mistake in behavior. I would assume they were previously ignored red flags or egregious disrespect before she decided to cheat. Listen up. It is extremely important to be mindful of the impact that words, thoughts, and ideas may have on you. By recognizing and challenging distortions, we can break free from their grip and live a life driven by reality.